one of them really hot days today, and so I've got my solar wax melter out, and so I've put all my old frames in there, and there's all the wax and all the rubbish. Runs down there into the trough. I put water in there so that the wax floats on top of the water. So here's all the old cocoons, look. All the wax is running out of them now. Whatever wax there was is run down there into the trough, and then I'll show you the next stage where we can clean the wax up a bit, make it nice for candles. But there we are, look. That's going to run down there nicely now in the sun, baking hot sun today. Every little drop of wax will come out and go into that trough. So when that wax cools off tonight, I'll just take that trough out, lift the wax out and put it in the second process. Right, this is the next day now, and I've put one of these queen excluders in here that was full of wax, and the heat from the sun has melted all that wax, so that's cleaned that up, and it got really hot, so it sterilised it in a way. I'd still burn it though, you know, to make sure. But so we get the tray out now with this wax. As you can see, all the wax has run into there, look, and there's a bit of honey there. And I can take this wax off now and put it into a large pot of hot water. Right, here we are at the old barbecue I built 25 years ago. I use this a lot for putting the hive on here and scraping all the propolis off. It's a very handy thing. This is like a workbench, and it's outside. There's a bee here, look, because I can smell the wax. So I've got an old Camden cooker here, so that's done outside, and then we've got less chance of things catching alight and spilling wax all over the kitchen floor. And so we've got a pot here about a third full of water, and there's all the wax that's come out of that solar melter, so I can put that into the water. It's got little bits of rubbish on it, but the water will clean all that off, and we can filter it afterwards. So all that's going in the hot water now to melt, and I'll show you the next stage. I've got there's even a wasp in there in that piece. So all them bits, they can go in there, we can clean that up still. So that goes into the water, like that. I've got one that I've made before, like making a cake, but I'm going to put this back in as well, because this has been in there once already, and I've cleaned some rubbish off the bottom, but it's still got a few little bits in it, and it wants another go. So I'll break this up, I'll put in there as well, mix it all in, let it all melt, then we pour it out into some containers, and I'll show you that process next. So I broke that in half, put these in here now. I'll put them in there one at a time. I'll let that melt first, then I'll pop this in. So we've got this bubbling away in here now. It's all melted, and I'll give it a stir. So it's all mixed now with wax and water. And then the next stage will be putting it through a sieve. And there's the candles, what you can get, because I've got the honey harvest coming in a couple of weeks, and when I'm selling my honey at the door, a lot of people like to buy the candles as well, so I'll make sure I've got plenty of candles to sell. So, you know, it's a good thing making candles. I'll put the link below of the actual process of making the candles. I've got a video on that, it's quite an informative one, I think. So the next job now is to pour this hot wax and water that's mixed through a sieve into a bucket. What is the difficult part, and if there's any danger involved, the dangerous part. You've got to be careful of this, tipping this quite hot water and wax through an old sieve. That's Lynn's sieve out the kitchen. I've had it for years. You know, it's dirty and horrible looking, but it does strain all the bits and pieces out of this boiling wax and water it is, and you know, bits of bee propolis and all sorts. There's wasps in there and bees and bits of rubbish, and that just filters it out. That's a sort of first filter. I've got a lot of wasps and bees around me because they can smell this. So that's all gone through there now, and there's all the rubbish in there, like you see. Collected most of it. Goes in there. And then this will settle. All the wax will be at the top, the water will be at the bottom. Then the process after that will be to clean the rubbish off the bottom. I'll show you that in a minute. Right, there we can see after an hour it's already gone a beautiful colour, that wax, look. And the top's just starting to set now. You can still see it all running in there a little bit. It's just setting now, look, at the top. And that'll take about 24 hours for that to go quite solid inside. And there's the water and honey and rubbish all under there. And then I can clean that out tomorrow. So with the technology of camera work, we'll see it now the next day. There is the next day now, and it's all gone hard, this. It's lovely clean wax there, and water and honey and bits of rubbish in there. And I'll just tip it out now. You can see about how much liquid I had in the pot. Almost about half, I would say, and half wax. We'll tip it out now. Right then, so we've now got this lovely cake of wax, you know, so 2 or 3 inches thick, in it, nice. And we've just got a bit of crud on the bottom of here, look. So you can just scrape that off with a scraper and get rid of it like that, look. So that's almost pure wax then. Then to get the final bit off, I can use a sharp instrument and get that off of there. So I've just got wax left and no rubbish. There we are then. This is what you end up with, this nice cake of wax, and it's sort of fairly clean at the bottom. And I will now put this through another process of straining it before I put it into the candle wax moulds. I'll put a link below for that because that's a completely separate video, and you can make some beautiful candles, so that's a good thing to do with your wax. I'm going off up to the farm now, so come with me. I'm going to look at how many mites we've got in each hive by looking in the sticky board underneath and determining whatever hive has got a large infestation of the mites. So I do often treat with Apiguard. I think this is a very simple and easy method, but this year, after I've got the honey off, in about a week or two's time, I'm feeding with Apistan, well, treating rather. I'll be treating with Apistan, and I'll show you that in a couple of weeks time. And there's, in the UK, we've got the VMD approved treatments for mites, and I'll come up close now to show you on my chart the 10 treatments. I do often use Apiguard as a mite treatment, and you can see on my videos in the past where I've used that, but I will be using this Apistan this year, and I'll show you that in about 2 weeks time. I'll put a video up for the treatment for this. That's after I've got the honey off this year. I'm going to have a look now at this wild bee colony cutout and see what mite drop it's got compared to some up the other end of the farm that have just swarms, and also some I've bred myself we just see the difference in the mite drop. I'm hoping this wild bee colony cutout has got a very low mite count. We'll see, for the genetics it's got. You can see they're quite active going in the front. It's a busy hive. We've got a lot of pollen going in there. I can see quite a few with pollen on. So that's the wild bee colony cutout, Queen Boadicea. There's quite a lot of gunk on here, but there's only 15 mites in 8 days for this wild bee colony cutout. So it has got mites, obviously, but not a massive infestation of them. Right, we'll have a look in these now. This was the swarm that we caught out of the willow tree, and see what this has had in. This was 7 days this has been in, and I'll have a count up. This one has got 11 mites in 7 days, so sort of 1.5 a day. But don't forget, this one's had a brood break because it was a swarm, so I have found hives that are completely covered with mites, you know, loads of mite drops, you know, maybe 80, 100 mites. So both of them hives so far are quite good, I'd say. I'm still going to treat them though. And this one, we'll have a look at this one. First glance, looks quite good. I'll count up. This one is Queen Lot's daughter, and there's no mites at all on there. I've looked all over it and there's not one single mite. There's quite a few ants and bits of debris, but no mite drops at all. That looks like one, but it isn't. Well, on this last one now, there's no mites on here except one just there on the end of that pen. You can just see a little shiny one there. I don't know if you can make that out on the camera, but that is the mite there. I've checked everything else on here and there's nothing, so it's quite good for a mite count. These mite trays, you've got sticky on here, so they stick to it, the mites, and it's not 100% accuracy with this, but it definitely gives you an idea if they've got mites, or they've got a large amount of mites or a small amount of mites, so it does give you an idea. So I think, you know, I've always used them and they're fine. I think it's overcast, a little bit of rain in the sky, and I hope it's been informative to somebody on here, new beekeepers maybe, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Ta-da everyone, see ya. How lovely is that, look. Bye bye.